Hey there, I am the Terrific Lady, otherwise known as Brandy, and welcome to another review where I pause to look at another newer horror film. And if you're new here, hey, welcome. Hi. If you're not new here, welcome back. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so and click the notification bell so that way you can keep up to date on all of my reaction reviews, which I put out every Friday. So today's film, buckle up. I'm going to try and get this in under 10 minutes or less. I have reviewed Ari Aster's Midsommar, which is his second film after 2018, I believe, Hereditary. Yeah. This is going to go without saying. There are going to be spoilers, not potential ones. There will be. So if you've not already seen Midsommar, pause this review. Watch the movie. I watched it on Vudu, so watch it and come back. So, Midsommar. You got this woman named Dani, and her sister is very severely depressed, and she winds up, her sister winds up killing their parents and herself through a murder-suicide. Of course, she is freaking devastated at this fact. She's freaking devastated. And to top it all off, she has this very unsupportive boyfriend who has been wanting to break up with her, but he feels that, he can't. I mean, he should have broken up with her a long time ago if he felt that way. But anyway, he and his buddies are going to be going on this trip to Sweden. And she comes along. So, the trip is, to this village that one of the friends, lives in. But little do they all know that they have gone right into the welcoming open arms of a cult. That's Midsommar. Now, some of the things that I liked about this movie, quite a few things actually I liked about this movie. The cinematography had some very interesting tricks and angles and shots. In one shot it showed Dani standing by the door of her apartment, and then there's this mirror that's by the door, and you can see the boyfriend's reflection in the mirror, and you can see them talking that way. I thought that was a really cool shot. Another thing is I thought the use of horror in the daytime was really great, because you don't normally equate daytime horror with this sense of unease and dread and total suffering. And this movie does a great job of subverting the safetiness of daylight and turning it into something that's absolutely terrifying. You also get a sense of being an outsider, because whenever the people who lived in the cult, it's not a commune, it's a cult, they sometimes speak Swedish, and there's not subtitles on the screen. And so it kind of leaves you, along with the main characters, feeling like this outsider. You don't know what's going on. That was kind of an interesting touch, because I'm used to when people are speaking other languages in movies, you see the subtitles. That wasn't always the case in this movie. I really enjoyed that. And the cult, oh dear God, this cult. Oh my Lord. Just they treat everything as just communal in every sense of the word. You're not an individual. It's your identity gets absorbed. When it comes to cults, for instance, Heaven's Gate, they all had to have the same intonation and name. They had the same haircut. They kind of wore the same clothes, that kind of thing. Well, this cult, they treat emotions almost as communal. Pain and happiness and love, none of that you can experience as an individual on your own. It's all shared. It's for instance, there's this part near the end of the movie where Dani is very grief-stricken. She starts crying, and then these other girls just join in with her and are also just crying, and almost kind of it seems almost mocking in a way. I don't know how best to describe it, but yeah, I thought that was an interesting way of showing just a loss of identity as making everything communal. You're not an individual anymore. You're a part of this community cult. That was an interesting take. Another thing that I definitely wanted to make sure and address, and to me this is the big problem, like not behind this movie, but behind certain views about this movie, is that the idea of empowerment. That for some reason that they thought that her choosing to have her boyfriend burn alive was a form of empowerment, and the fact that she's like smiling at the end is a happy ending. What? That is not empowerment in the least. So Danny was already a broken individual when she went into this situation. So what do places like that like to prey on? They like to prey on people who are broken. They like to prey on people who they think could be easily manipulated. And they caught her just right as pretty much she lost her entire family. That's like prime like material right there for like entry into this cult. And then to top it all off, just saying things like, oh yeah, just like the boyfriend just like deserved to die. It's like, let me remind you that he was basically drugged. First of all, he was drugged and kind of forced into this sex ritual. Just like at the end. So he was drugged and forced into this sex ritual. So he could not even really give full consent to this because of his state. Like his mental state and the fact that he was drugged. So, was her boyfriend an asshole? Absolutely no question. I'm not denying that fact. He was a dick. But just because he's a dick, did that mean that he deserved to die? No, I don't think so. The story is, to me, was not like one of empowerment. Because choosing a murder in that way is not empowerment. It's not a happy ending. Giving up your freedom and your individuality is also not empowerment in any way, shape, or form. To have your choices just basically taken away from you, how is that empowerment? It really isn't. So approaching this story from an empowerment angle, I mean, if you want to approach it from that angle, I mean, I don't know pretty much how people can see it as empowerment, but, you know, some may. I just find it very, no, that people actually think it is. I didn't find it as a very strong female empowerment kind of film. When I saw it as someone taking a broken individual and just, like, luring them in. And in that vein, the movie worked. So, I enjoyed it. And, yeah, it's definitely something that the verdict is something that I would definitely watch again. It's a heavy film. It's not something I could watch, like, you know, a zillion nights in a row, but I would definitely watch it again. I enjoyed it, but I approach it, like I said, I approach it more from the cult angle than I do from the fact that this is some kind of empowerment film for whatever reason. But, yeah. So that is Midsommar. Have you seen it? Please let me know what you thought of that. I'd love to get a discussion going, like, in the comments. So, if you want to know about some of my other content, Terrific Lady on Instagram and Twitter. I have a blog at bekindpleaserewind.blog. And if you are interested in supporting my video content, improving it, and supporting, like, all of my other Retro Rewind content, I have a Ko-fi. No. Have a good day, evening, night, whenever it is that you're watching this, and bye!